Hey guys.
We get asked a ton of questions on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And a lot of those questions are on the more personal side. You're wanting to get to know us a little bit better. You're on this journey with us around the world, and we get that.
Yeah,
right? We understand. And when we're communicating with you, we love it when you tell us some little personal facts about you as well. Makes us feel like we know you just a little bit better than just typing in a comment.
We love the community aspect of it.
We do. So this video is going to be 10 questions giving you more details on us. So let's get started.
Trying to find our way. It's hard telling where we'll be.
All right, the first one. How did we meet? Question number 1. How did we meet? Well, it was a very, very, very long time ago.
18 years.
18 years. We're right at 18 years, guys. And I had just started a new job, which number 2 is going to tell you a little bit more about where we worked and what we did. But I had just started a new job, and I was in a little cubby in my office, and I heard this voice and this laugh from down the hall.
Sexy.
Yeah. So I rolled my chair back, and I looked down the hall, and I was like, I went back to doing my work. But he kept talking, and that was it. So I had to pretend like I needed to walk down the hall for something, bump into him, figure out who he is, and then I rounded up all the girls in the office to start the plan. And that's kind of how it went. So as much as I hate to admit it, I chased him a little bit.
Yeah, we went on a company picnic together, and well, not together, but we met there, and then ended up going to a football game together.
Yeah.
And shortly after that, we started living together, and
it moved
been
pretty
together
fast.
ever since. We've built a pretty cool life together.
Yeah, we have. So a lot of people say love at first sight, and I'm like, love at first hearing his voice or something. I don't know. But that's how we met, guys. We met at work, and it was me that had to chase him for a little bit. It didn't take long.
No.
Didn't take long, but I did have to start the chase. So, number 2, what did we do for careers before we started van life?
So we both worked in heavy construction, basically building roads, parking lots, digging up rocks, concrete, asphalt, all that type of stuff. Later on in my career, I worked with a technology that was super cool that helped to protect our workers, our workforce in our work zone. We had a problem with cars coming in and unfortunately killing our people. And so really excited to be part of that project. It was a really super cool project, one of the best things I've ever done, and actually kind of the thing that I walked away from to sort of pursue this new lifestyle. But yeah, we both made roads.
Yeah. So in coming from the road construction industry, I was super proud of Curt for being involved in that, because road construction is an incredibly dangerous career. I mean, we're standing on the side of the road next to semis going, 90 miles an hour or so. But I was raised in construction. My grandfather had a road construction company, and there's little memories and pictures of me with traffic cones when I was little. So I grew up in that industry. And then my grandfather closed down that business, and I had worked for him until then, and then I had to go find the job where I met this guy. So it all worked out. But yeah, I was a project manager for mainly interstates.
We were nowhere near YouTubers or videographers or anything that we're currently doing.
No.
So this has been a huge learning curve for us, but one that's been very rewarding, especially since we can bring you along our journey.
And one thing I want to clarify, because Curt gets asked all the time on his Tech Talk series about building vans, was he an engineer? Neither one of us are engineers. We worked in that kind of industry. We worked with engineers quite a bit, but we were both on the construction and business side of things.
I've worked with and managed some of the smartest engineers, I think, in the U.S. Yeah. It's actually was an extremely humbling and rewarding experience.
Yeah. But I wanted to get that out there.
I'm not an engineer.
No, not an engineer. Just a guy that built a van.
Just a guy that built a van.
Number 3. Why did we decide to go on this crazy journey around the world and leave that life behind?
So, I worked all around the U.S. I traveled. It was not uncommon, or it was very common for me to get on a plane first thing Monday morning, and a lot of times not return until late Friday evening, which meant I didn't have time during the week to do all the chores. So I was always playing catch up, missing out on hanging out with Snow and the cats, and also my friends and my family. So we really kind of lived for our vacations, which a lot of times were maybe like a long weekend, 3 or 4 day vacations, and occasionally a week vacation. But in 2018, early 2018, we took a 3-week vacation to Japan and China, and we were immersed in a totally unique and different culture. And by being away from work for so long, it sort of kind of gave us an opportunity to sort of decompress and get away from it and realize that there was more to life than just work. And it really kind of was an eye-opening experience, both from a cultural and travel experience, but also just from getting away from work and being able to live a different kind of lifestyle.
Realizing that your life didn't need to revolve around your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we kind of came back and we're trying to figure out how we could do something about that. How could we change our life to maybe be a bit more fulfilling, where we could, get out there and explore together and spend more time together and all those things. And that's what led us here.
Yeah. And one more thing to add on to that, because we get asked this a lot, and I deal with the comments, so Curt might not know we get asked this a lot. We do not have children. And part of that is because I always knew that we wanted to travel the world. So it was, I don't want to call it a sacrifice, but it was part of the plan. And children's never anything that drove me. So no kids. Lots of wonderful nieces and nephews scattered all over Florida and the United States, and we love them all dearly.
We love kids, it just wasn't for us.
Yeah, and so for all those wonderful nieces and nephews, don't forget, you have to take care of us when we're old. So anyway. So that's kind of why we decided to travel. But honestly, we really didn't we didn't know how. We explored a lot of different avenues. Yeah. And sort of the one that we landed on, the one you guys are familiar with, Snow kind of gets the credit for determining that. Yeah. So number four is, how did we end up in a van? So we got back from that trip Curt told you about over to Asia, and Curt had to go back to work that first week, and he came home that weekend and his spirit was just crushed. And at the same time, while he had been gone all week, I was like, we got to do more of that. And he literally came home and he said, I can't do this anymore. Let's move to Thailand. And I was like, slow down. And apparently he had researched it. And of course, everyone, or not everyone, but it is very affordable to live in Thailand. So that was something he was tossing around. And I was like, well, let's travel. Let's just go from country to country. And then we started talking about the logistics of that. And we were going to fly from country to country and rent Airbnbs. But we wouldn't have a vehicle, and we're not the type of people to go on buses, and living out of a suitcase didn't feel right. So Curt had a pickup truck, and then so we went from flying from Airbnb to Airbnb to putting a camper on the back of his pickup truck and driving from Airbnb to Airbnb. And then he said, well, we're gonna have to figure out what to do with the cats. And I was like, what do you mean? The cats have to go with us. And so then we started trying to figure out how to make the camper on the back of the truck cat friendly.
Well, let me just interrupt you for a second, because I actually went out, and we're from Florida, but I was out in Colorado in business.
I was getting there.
And all these campers were cruising by. And so I snuck off and looked at RVs.
That was the next step. So we've been talking about putting a camper, like a truck bed camper, just to store luggage and stuff, on the back of his pickup. He flew off to work that weekend, happened to be Colorado. And he went and looked at RVs, and he came home and he was like, Snow,
super excited.
Let's get an RV.
I figured it out.
Yeah. And nothing against RVs, but I knew that whatever we were deciding to do was gonna be a long-term commitment. And my home is very important to me. It needs to feel like my home. And so I was like, I don't think I can do that, Curt. I don't think I think that feels more like something you do for a couple of months or maybe for a year or two. But he dragged me to look at them. We went to look at them, and there are some amazing RVs, but nothing got me. And then I saw one of the little Sprinters over there, and I was like, well, we could do that.
She said, not no, hell no. That's what she said, guys.
It just wasn't, it didn't feel like a home to me, and that was very important. So I spotted a Sprinter, and guys, I promise you, we are not millennials. We're not savvy YouTube, internet people. We did not know
what van life
was.
No
No.
clue. Never heard of it, never seen it.
So I see a Sprinter and I'm like, Curt, we could kind of modify that to fit. So we have something for the cats. And he's looking at it and he's like, well, and then we built a van.
I mean, at that point in time, we really did a lot of research to figure out what would work for us, how did we want to travel, where did we want to go, and all the things we wanted to do. And it became apparent that if we wanted to cross oceans, we needed to put our vehicle or our home into a container. There was also a strong urge to be able to travel off of the main road. Which required some four-wheel drive and some other things that we can have in a van.
We actually did a whole video on that. So why we chose the van over the RV. And partly because of these little guys right here. But I'll put a link to that video right up here. So if you guys want to see that, you can.
Sure.
All right. So the next one is, has travel changed us?
It's definitely changed me. And I'll tell you what, having the opportunity to immerse in a culture for a long period of time, for a vacation, you just kind of get the highlights. Maybe you're trying to check out or, just totally check out of work. By that time, you're headed back to work. But this immersion thing has really changed me from a standpoint of being able to appreciate different cultures and how, different countries do different things. And there's not just one right way to do it. And also the similarities we have around the world. The world is all of a sudden becoming a smaller place to us, and we're really just appreciating people more and cultures more and all that type of stuff. So that's been, pretty rewarding and kind of life-changing for me.
Yeah, and before I answer, if you don't know, this is G Money, our 10-year-old Bengal, and that kitty I was holding just a minute ago is our 2.5-year-old Berman, and her name is Vanna. So, all right, so has travel changed us? Of course it has. Long-term immersion travel, just like Curt said, you see other cultures in a different way. Now, we're not traveling to the way we used to. We're not going and checking into a resort that's full of other tourists just like us. Right now, because of the virus, you guys know that we're in an Airbnb in a Mexican city way down south, and we're surrounded by the Mexican people. That's not something that would happen in their old type of travel. So
not very many people even speak English here.
No, which is a problem. Which we are still studying Spanish, just probably not as much as we should, but we are. So yes, of course, travel has changed us for the better. I think it has also, the way we're traveling, had a huge impact on our relationship for the better. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We've been able to spend more time together and do things and plan together, and it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, do we think this journey, number 6, do we think that this journey might be helping us to get healthier? Yes. Now, you can look at us and tell that our previous life, and still now, we were not the healthiest people in the world. I don't want to blame it completely on our careers and the stress of jobs like that, but that's kind of probably how we got into the rut of sitting on the couch, fast food, and it did get out of control. Yes, we are getting healthier. And of course, ladies, men, just don't even talk right now because I'm talking to the ladies. The men lose the weight so much faster, right? So much faster. So Curt has been doing much better than I have, but I'm moving more, I'm getting more active. I climbed a mountain the other day. You want to make sure you saw that video.
Yeah.
And my knees, they still hurt some, but they're getting better.
Yeah. So exercising more, getting off the couch, and I'll say this, guys. A lot of people underestimate the effect that stress has on somebody. But I'm a stress eater, and so I'm on the road eating out in restaurants all the time in my previous lifestyle, ending up back in a hotel late at night, getting home on weekends, being exhausted, and all those things just didn't lead to a healthy lifestyle. Now, obviously, I could have made different choices back then, but honestly, living in the van the choices are a lot easier, right? We have smaller meals, healthier meals, and then also the exercise. So getting out of the van, doing a lot of walking, hiking, and all those types of things. So it's not like going to the gym and working out, it's just living, and it's been really rewarding and beneficial. And we're definitely seeing the rewards from our health from that.
And another kind of spin-off of this question that we get asked a lot is, what do we do about doctor visits and stuff like that? well, before we left, because we are a little bit of the older generation, we got full workups, hearts, did all the tests, blood work, everything. We both passed, we're good, we were healthy. And the plan was, as we reached certain countries that, had the healthcare that could provide us those kind of tests, we will pop in and we will do that routinely. I think the original plan was Panama, because their healthcare system is very similar to ours, and our insurance would be happy that we would do it there. But with the COVID, we may have to find somewhere sooner.
But we've been, for example, we've been going to the dentist along the way. Just went this morning.
Yeah, teeth cleaned.
And I've been to the doctor, and pause. I went to the doctor for ear infection. So, we've been
that's
taking
part of the
care
journey.
Of,
That's part of the journey.
Yeah,
We absolutely are. Yes. Okay. Next, number 7. So, number 7 and number 8 are very similar. This is mine. I'm going to just give you a fun fact about us. And then the next one, Curt will give you his fun fact. Now, a little side note is Curt refused to tell me what his fun fact is, so I don't know. But mine is, so we're from Florida originally. And in the southeast part of the United States, college football is the thing. Now, I know most of the country is the NFL, but it is not for Florida, and Georgia, and Alabama. So, this funny side little fact is I am a die-hard Florida Gator.
Ooh, oh, I didn't say that.
He did. A die-hard Florida Gator. Born and raised a Florida Gator. Raised going to the swamp, watching the game, wearing the colors. I know all the cheers. I love my Gators. Curt is the enemy. He is a Florida State Seminole. Boom.
That's not a fun fact.
So when we first met, there's times we couldn't watch football games together. It was pretty intense.
Different rooms.
Yeah, different rooms, different TVs, different houses sometimes. But this year my team is doing quite a bit better than his. But I won't put too much weight on it because
Okay,
of
it's
the COVID.
my turn
All right,
for a
hold
fun
on.
fact. That's enough about the
Okay.
Gators.
Number 8, Curt's fun fact.
So,
Go Gators!
so here's something. I'm extremely afraid of heights. Now, if you guys want to go and see that firsthand, when we were in Michigan and I attempted to jump off a black rock, I balked a little bit. Into Lake Superior, off a big cliff. And Snow was talking a little bit of trash pre-hand. I was as well. But when the moment of truth came, you can see it in my eyes, I hesitated, I flinched, I didn't jump. I eventually jumped after a couple flinches. But guys, that's really a challenge for me. And you stick around, turn the notifications on. You're gonna get an opportunity to see me face my fears many times, I assure you, throughout this journey. And so, anyway, there's a little fun fact about me.
It's a good fun fact about Curt. All right, number 9. What are we most excited about that we're gonna get from this journey that we're on? We struggled coming up with drilling down to just one thing. So when Curt first answered, I'm like, that can't be your answer. It's too broad. And then
that's why I didn't tell her what my answers are ahead of time, by the way.
But yeah, I'm like, that's too broad. We have to pick one thing. And the more I thought about it, and I hate to say this, the more he was right. The more he was right.
What is your thing?
All right, so no, we share it. It's wildlife in general. So Curt had picked Africa. Because of all the safaris.
That's my idea.
I mean, guys, if you've been watching our videos, you know we love the whales. I can just get hypnotized watching seals and the salmon jumping when we were in Washington, and then yes, Africa, the safaris, and we're down here in Mexico and Central America. The birds, we love wildlife. Yeah, toucans.
Toucans.
Yeah. So I think what I would like to do as the COVID gets over and the journey can kind of start to go back to whatever the new normal is going to be, I think you will see us try to find places where maybe we can work in places that help rescue some of these animals. I would love to help take care of some sick sloths or feed a little baby one that's lost his mom, and wildlife.
Yeah, mine is Africa, as Snow kind of spoiled mine, but I will tell you, it is 90% to get to go out into our van, into the safaris, and see all the super cool wildlife that we don't have in North America. But also there's some cool waterfalls over there, there's mountain gorillas over there, and I'm really excited to see the culture and the people and even try the food. So Africa is definitely, I mean, there's numerous places that are exciting.
The Northern Lights. I mean, it's just, there's no way to put an answer to this. All right, number 10. How do we finance this journey? All right, so the first one, guys, is we sold everything we owned, including our house, including our cars. Some of that money's put aside for when we retire for real when we're older, but that created a nest egg for us that would last us
A little bit.
a few years while we figured out how to make money. So you want to?
Yeah, I just, we certainly don't have enough to go to the distance, and so we decided to start a YouTube channel in hopes that we could earn a little additional revenue, and maybe from there learn how we can monetize along the way. And we put up our van tour, and we got tremendous response from that. And a lot of people asked if we had van plans for sale, and it wasn't part of our original plan, but I went to work and put those together. We have those coming out soon, and so hopefully we'll be able to earn a little money.
Yeah, you're going to be able to buy our van plans.
Hopefully we'll be able to fund a little money for our journey through that, because our expenses have gone up due to the COVID virus. We find ourselves staying in Airbnbs for security reasons, not for our own safety, but
health.
When the government in Mexico shut down Mexico for the COVID last time, people who didn't have an apartment already were kind of kicked out and had to leave. And we've heard all sorts of other stories about van lifers in different countries, some of which even, I think, lost their vans. And so we've been really careful on that note, but that comes with additional cost. And also, we're kind of starting to notice in some of the areas that have been really hit hard, the touristy areas, prices are ticking up as well. And so we have some additional expenses. Shipping our van from country to country across oceans is quite expensive. And so, we're working hard to figure out how we can earn enough money to fund our journey. And I would say that's pretty much an ongoing process.
So for right now, it's the Google ads on our YouTube videos that you guys watch. It's Amazon links. If you see something in our van you like, you can scroll down to our video descriptions. Click on those. We make small little commissions from both of those. The van plans, Curt has worked really hard with an architect on that, and that's about to roll out with a whole new website. That's going to be exciting.
And the most kind of the coolest part of it is our community through either Patreon or through our
YouTube memberships.
Our YouTube memberships. I mean, those really mean a lot to us. I mean, we feel like those are the folks who are really engaged in our journey and understand what we're up against to kind of make it around the world and share with you and contribute to that.
If you want to contribute to us being able to keep making these videos for you guys, in the description below, there's a couple of links. One is to our YouTube membership page, where you get a little bit of side stuff, get a little bit of inside stuff, and you get to help us with the journey. And number 2, there will be a link where you can sign up to either go to the website where the van plans already are, or if that website's not up yet, you can sign up and we'll send you an email when it is up. And both of those would help us. So that's it, guys. 10 things. 10 things you didn't know about us.
You know us a little better now.
You know us a little better now. So
leave a comment and let us know something about you guys.
Yeah, for sure. We love the comments. We love the community. We're loving this journey. We're very happy we decided to do a YouTube channel to share this with everybody. And with that, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll see you guys in a few days.
Cheers.
Is the right way they say it.